Hi everyone, it is time for the next video from this page 23 from Tiny Year by Agotapop, the Colouring Heaven magazine. Now if you haven't got a copy of the magazine, it is out of stock on their website, but you can get it on Amazon, printed on Amazon paper, which may not be to your taste. I know a lot of people are like, nope. But the other option is that you can use Agata's download. She's got tinies for each month, and this is a compilation of them in a book, but you can get them singly if you want to. You may already have the June ones anyway. So we're going to do these suitcases today. I'm having a little look at them and thinking about suitcases and colours. Now normally I would do them brown. That's the colour I do cases. I'm just trying to remember what colour Agata did them, because she's coloured them in. But I'm just going to do my own thing. So let's start with the top one and let's do it blue. I think what I'm going to do is do each case and then do the little stickers and things after, so that we can make the colours work. So 343 is a rather nice blue. So that's how I'm going to start. These are the Faber Castell Classic Color pencils. Now these are the ones that come in the red cardboard box. Their colours are quite similar to the polychromos, but there are a few differences. There are a few that just didn't seem to have a polychromo equivalent, which was interesting to me, because I thought they would be the same colours but just different hardness, but they're not. They're a little bit harder, but they're a lot cheaper. Would I buy them? Well, if I was trying to decide between different types of Faber Castell pencils, now I think there's a black edition which I've never tried. I would probably, it's really very budget dependent, you know. If you haven't got a lot of money to spend and you want to try them out, you've got two choices really. You can either go for the cheaper box, or you could buy some open stock polychromos, one or two. The problem with doing that is that if you like them, then you want them all, and if your budget doesn't allow you, then it can make you feel quite sad. So I think if you've got a very low budget and you can't afford them, well, I say very low, I mean they're really expensive, so you'd need quite a high budget to afford them. I remember I used to, when I first started colouring, I couldn't justify buying everything. I just had a set of Staedtler Ergosofts that I'd bought, and they were the old 24 sets. You couldn't get 36 back in the day. And I eventually just used to buy, as I earned a little bit of money from my videos, which I wasn't monetized to start with because you have to fulfill certain conditions. I used to make a little bit of money through my affiliate links, and I would use that to buy myself the old polychromos pencil. And as my channel's grown, well, basically once I became monetized on YouTube, then I had a little bit more money to play with, so I could buy a few more things. And so I did eventually. Actually, my husband was like, can I buy you the full set for Christmas or something like that, I think. And I let him, because he was buying himself something quite expensive. Yeah, now I've got plenty of pencils. I do tend to replace the ones that run out though, because I do really like them. But as I say, if you haven't got a big budget, it's probably wise to actually avoid buying the open stock odd ones, because you'll just want them all, and then it's hard, you know. So these are quite a good replacement, because they are significantly cheaper. They're still not dirt cheap, but you know, you could save up and then you can get the whole box, you know, for a reasonable amount. I don't know exactly how much, to be honest, because they're 60, which is at half the the amount of polychromos, and I think I don't know what the price is, but I know they're significantly cheaper, so it's worth having a think about. I'm going to take a darker blue, this is 344, and put in a little bit of shadows down here where the I want to say belt, looks like a belt, doesn't it? But it isn't, it's the sort of fastenings for our case. And I'm wondering whether I should do the handle in blue. I think I will actually. I'll go back to that in a minute. But if you can just fill in these little edge bits, it just gives it a little bit more a look like there's just a bit of shadow just going around these little labels and stickers. I've never put stickers on a suitcase, but then I guess I'm going back to the 343. I've always had a fabric suitcase, so it didn't really take stickers. And I've never had a hard one because they're always heavier, but actually much sturdier. Okay, I'm thinking about this sort of belt. The fastenings, I quite like to do them in darker blue, but I've just used a darker blue for the shadow. I could do it in a lighter blue. Let's do that instead. 345. So it's not significantly lighter, it's a bit lighter. I just saw someone on an Instagram, was it Instagram or Facebook? Probably on both. I think he's on both. Doctor's Kitchen. He was making a little post, recording. He was cooking and talking at the same time. And I was watching it because it was about leaky gut, which is something my dad mentioned to me once, and I didn't think I knew enough about it to be able to have a conversation with him, and so I wanted to listen and find out a bit more about it. But anyway, so I'm noticing that the microphone that I'm using right now is the same as the one he was using, and I thought, goodness, it must be quite a good value for money, quite a good mic, because it wasn't like hugely expensive, and it was he was wearing one. It's a wireless, so he had his, I keep mine wired in because I sit down still next to the power socket. I've got a lot of power in this little room because I need it for the camera and the lamp and the blah and blah. I'm going back to this dark blue, the 344, to put in some shadows again, like under here. Yeah, so I keep it powered on. My husband thinks it's a bit pointless having a wireless one if I'm having it powered, but I said I'm going to get really worried that it might run out and I might not notice, and I might be chatting away and it not be powered. I've already had that happen once where it wasn't that it wasn't powered on, I forgot to pair it with the one that's on the camera. You have to it's really simple, just press a button on them at the same time, switch them on at the same time. But I forgot, I'd taken my camera next door to take the recording off it, which is what I do. And I'm going to do a brown suitcase next. I'm just picking my brown. I'm going to go for 376. Yeah, I'd taken my camera next door to put the film onto my computer, and I'd left it there a really long time, and the battery in the microphone had run out. It's fair enough. And so I plugged it back in here to charge, and I forgot to switch it back on. It's very good. It runs straight off the mains. You know, some things you have to charge them up a bit before they work, but it doesn't. And I forgot to pair them, so I started yapping in my video, and there was no, it wasn't recording the sound. Ah. Now there are ways. My son's like, oh, if you give me the files, I can, and you can record a voiceover with my microphone and I can pair it up. I was like, no, it's just, it wasn't worth it because I'd only done a teeny bit before I realised. So now I'm just really careful that I check that all the lights are on, everything, and then I know it's fine. Yeah, my son would help me if I absolutely needed it. He's good at editing this sort of stuff, because for his videos he does the old Minecraft video, so he has gameplay, and sometimes he keeps the sound on. What he's, you know, he records with sound, and sometimes he uses that sound, but sometimes he does like a voiceover, depending on what he's specifically doing. So he knows how to sort of separate sound and pictures, I guess, which isn't something that my really basic, lovely, easy to use software doesn't do that. I use it's called Photos Legacy or something. Comes with Windows, free, easy, very basic, because I just am not. My husband gets quite cross. It's like, why don't you use this? Why don't you do that? And I'm like, because it's just too hard to learn. He's like, but you could learn it, you're clever. And I'm like, yeah, but it's just boring. So this is 380, I hope. Yeah. And it's a little bit darker. I'm just going to pop a bit of shadow around some of the elements like we did on the last one. I don't know if it's going to show up very much. I think it is. I just realised we haven't done the buckles on the last one. I just happily moved straight on to this one before finishing it. I'm going to do the corners with this. But I just don't, it also takes a lot of time to learn a new thing. And I know I should be learning new things. It's just fitting it all in. I'd sort of always imagined that when my husband went part-time and semi-retired, that he would help me a bit more with everything, so that I could, you know, he might help me make thumbnails or help me with my editing, because he used to do video recording himself. I'm going to go back to the 376 for the handle. And no, he just isn't interested. I remember actually when I first met him, he had a video camera, and he used to go out and record all sorts of different things. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave all the buckles till last. I'm going to do this case. I want to do it in like an elegant green. 359 might look nice. We used that last time, I think. I think it'll work nicely. Yeah, so he had a video camera, and he used to go out recording all sorts of things. And he had this tripod, which is the one I use now. It was a very expensive Manfrotto tripod. Apparently they don't make such good quality products anymore. But anyway, I used to end up carrying the tripod around while he carried the camera, and we used to go places and he would record and I would stand around and get bored. But now he isn't so interested in filming and photography. He also bought a second camera just after I met him, and so he used to let me use his other one, but I didn't used to find it that interesting. I used to like taking photos with it, but it's a bit pointless having a recording camera if you just want to use it for photos. And I do like taking photos, but I rarely do. I took some this morning because I don't like to take this camera out with me in case I drop it. Imagine. So I don't have it insured separately, and it would be very expensive to replace, so that's why I don't take it out and about with me. I took it, the photos I took were on my phone. They were some little ducklings. Oh, I sent them to my kids, but I don't know, didn't comment, so I don't know if they noticed them. But anyway, so yeah, so he was into that, but because of his ADHD, he's got all sorts of different hobbies he gets in and out of. So he was into cameras and recording for a while, and then he got more into, what was he into at the beginning of our marriage? He got into sort of magic and hypnotism, and then he got sort of into art, and now he's back into photography a bit. He's got a camera, which he rarely uses, and yeah, He's like, this weekend, he spent a lot of time just sort of mooching around, watching videos and things like that. I feel like sometimes he's like wasting his time off, but I think sometimes he just needs a bit of space to chill and wind down and not have someone looking at him going, well, why aren't you doing anything? You know, he just needs to sort of veg, which is fine. But I sort of have decided that I need to stop waiting for other people and things to happen, because I keep thinking, oh, if I had someone to help me out, I would do this or that or the other, and I'm going to have to just do it myself. You know, no one's going to come and help me. So there's like, I need to, like, I just made a load of new playlists on my YouTube channel, which is something I've been meaning to do for ages. And also I have wanted to be able to give some of my earnings to charity. And I just kept thinking, oh, when I'm bigger, when I'm earning, and if I want to do it, I just need to do it. So I'm just doing it, but it's only such a small amount, but I'm doing it. You know, the point is that I'm not waiting any longer. This is 365. I think I explained it in my newsletter about that, but you may not have got it if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, where I decided that I would just give a small percentage of my ad revenue from YouTube to charity. Now so it isn't a massive amount. It's not money that people have donated or memberships or any of that money, but it's just a little bit. And so if people watch videos, watch the adverts and things like that, then that will help me to have more to give. And if you're a premium, I think I get that anyway. You get a little bit from premium. Now, buckles and clasps, should we do those next? No, I'm going to continue with this 365 and just put some shadow in under this handle. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah, and I'm going to choose like local charities to me, because I feel that they appreciate it more, because they don't get such big donations, but also they don't tend to have so many paid staff. I sort of often feel a little bit cross if I'm using the 383. If a charity I support, I then see advertising on TV, because I think, well, you've paid for that advert and I want the money that I donate to go towards the cause. So I'm doing more layers here and less here rather than an advert. And I realise that by advertising they get more people donating, but it just doesn't sit right in my head. So I want to give to someone that doesn't do that. And I know the one I gave to last month was our local hospital. I know that they don't advertise. 396. I'm trying to find, here it is. Here it is, 396. We're going to do silver buckles on this one. They have volunteers collecting. They have had some donations from the government and things towards some of their projects, but also they do rely on local people. And I think, well, we've used the hospital so much for various different things over the years, you know, like giving birth to the kids, for example, you know. And because I was having twins, I had loads of scans, loads of specialists, midwives, paediatricians, loads and loads of people there at the birth, for example. They make sure that you've got a really huge amount of care. You know, and we get that for free. So I'm like, we really do owe them something. So what I gave them was nothing like what I feel we should be giving them. But, you know, it's just a little something. This is 39. Is that a 9? No, 8. 387. Sorry. I'm going to do the teddy bear. But I figured that it's a start. And then next month, or this month, sorry, money, I've got a little poll asking my members where they would like it to be donated, what sort of place. I haven't put the poll together yet, although by the time when you're watching this video it'll be there. Be from my Ko-fi members and my YouTube members. And they can just vote if they want to, and it's just a little perk for members really. It helps me to decide as well, because there's so many good causes. So I'll see what, I haven't quite decided on the categories yet, but I will soon. Right, we're sort of lacking in pink and purple, so that's what I'm going to do on our bear's top. He's going to have a pink and purple stripe. So he's going to start with a 319. Yeah, why not? So yeah, I think it's nice to. It was interesting. I was thinking about this because I'd met a friend for coffee, and she told me about this hospital fundraising appeal, saying how, you know, she was giving. Now she doesn't have very many funds, and I was thinking, if she's doing it, I really have no excuse. This is 337 just for a little bit. And I spoke to my husband about it, and he said, I tried to give them some money when they were collecting at the hospital last time I was there for it was just a checkup, nothing with my son. And he said, but they were only interested in people signing up to pay monthly direct debits. And he said, I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to give a one-off. And I said, I could give a one-off online. So that's what I did. So so I've done that one. This is 331. And what's quite nice is they've done things for the kids' epilepsy, which is what my son has. So department, I can't remember what it was they gave. I think it was some equipment 391. So it's really nice to think actually it's helping areas that we have benefited from, but also just the local community. I do feel that at the moment it's important that we give back a lot, because this is 360 where we can. Not everybody can, and that, where am I going? The sea, look on the sticker. Not everyone can, that's fine, but I think that a lot of places and things are underfunded at the moment, and so it's only us that can do anything about it really. This is 321, and I don't pay very much tax because I don't earn very much, so I don't give back in that way. So this is a different way. And some people do volunteer work, and that's amazing, or you know, care for people that would otherwise be, you know, having to get help from the government. 307, some people are just struggling to just look after themselves and their own families, and that's perfectly understandable as well. I've been in that situation myself, and sometimes there's just no time to think or, you know, do anything else. This is 316. I remember when the boys were toddlers. Oh, as much as I loved them and enjoyed them, they were gorgeous at that age, I just could not cope with cleaning up after them. I found it so hard, and I had to get a cleaner because I just couldn't keep on top of it all. My kitchen floor, it's embarrassing, 304, was basically going mouldy under where their high chairs were because I just couldn't get the energy to do the cleaning. You know, it's just like, oh, I can't do it. There's our son. So I had to, in the end, I was working 347 a little bit. At the time, it was the buying and selling second-hand books that I was doing. But I did sort of have time. It was energy that I didn't have. It's just really difficult. I don't know how people manage. People do. Now, I'm just picking random colours, as you probably noticed, and just colouring our labels and things. 335. Let's try and keep everything looking bright and cheery. We're off on our holidays, which is exciting. 342. I rather like this colour. I can do the flower. I can't remember when we last had a holiday, but most of the family don't really like going, so don't really go. This is 378. I said to my sister I have to go with her sometime. I think that would be 329, tricky. She likes going with her family. But maybe once her kids have left home, although she's got 13-year-olds, it'll be a while. I've got this one and a bit of this one. I think I'm going to use this colour, the 330 for here. I'm actually going to go over all of it because it's a bit scruffy. Go. This little label here, what should we do? We'll go for a green, I think. There is a 366. Now, I'm not done though. I'm going to grab my black and do a bit of more shadows. So this is 399. Now, let's have a little think, because I did a bit, but I'm not sure that it showed up as well as I had hoped. So I'm just going to work through, really, putting some in. Not sure I did any on these. This side to match before I do a different bit. It's sunny now, it looks like, through the blind. It was on and off when I was out. You know, I was like, do I take my hat off? No. Oh well, I tend not to take my hat off anyway, because there's always the risk of hat hair. In fact, what was quite funny was I saw someone walking along the canal path and she had exactly the same hat as me. And I'm trying to work out here whether there'd be shadow, and if so, where? I think it might be on the bottom of this case. Here. Just a little bit there. Yeah, exactly the same hat in the same colour. I mean, I did buy it in our town, so, you know, someone else, the chance of other people having it, I guess, quite high. But it came very highly recommended by the person working in the shop, and of course you'll always think, oh, were they on commission? But I do know her. Her daughter was the year below my boys at school, and her son was a few years below. So, you know, I sort of trusted her. And actually it has been a very good hat. It still is a very good hat. It's got a very wide brim, which you can sort of fold in a bit to make it, because it's fabric, but you can pull it out, which means you can shade either the back of your neck or shade your eyes and your face. It's big enough to shade even the tip of my nose, which, considering the size of my nose, is quite impressive. Oh dear. I know, I'm sure it's not that big, but it also gets sunburn on the tip. If I wear a cap, it protrudes out from under the peak. Right, I think I am done with that one. Our little pile of suitcases. Now, do you think they're full and ready, or do you think they're empty and we're about to pack? I'm not sure. Well, the things are tied up and they're closed, so maybe they're ready. Maybe we're about to get into the car, which the next picture is actually a van packed up, so maybe we're just about to get them in there. Exciting stuff. Anyway, thank you for watching today. I hope that you have a super day, and maybe if you're getting ready for a holiday, have lots of fun. And yes, so thank you and happy colouring.